Welcome back. In this video, we're going to take a look at adding a simple contact form to our Elementor page or website. Okay, so I've just loaded up my development environment and opened up our page that we were working on. And just on our on my sample page here, I'll show you the example. So we're just going to create a very basic contact form, something that they can input their name and email into, and a subject and message if they want. Okay. Now, when this is fully set up, it will actually email an email address with these details. Now, I'm going to say straight off the bat that if you're making this or doing this on a live website, you're also going to want to have some sort of anti-spam protection put onto that website. Now, there are several different options. Two that spring to mind are the AskMet one, I think I pronounced that right, which generally is a plugin that's installed when you install a new WordPress plugin, or you could use something like Google's reCAPTCHA. But like I said, if you're going to do this on a live site, you're going to want something like that. I will do a video on adding that sort of functionality later, but at this stage, we're just going to focus on the contact form itself. Okay. So first things first, we'll get logged in to our admin side. To do this, we're going to need a plugin or install a new plugin. So we'll go to our plugins. Now, I've already installed the plugin because I couldn't have shown you the demo otherwise, but the plugin's called Contact Form 7. So how you would normally go about finding that is you would just click on your Add New in the plugin section here, and you could just do a search for Contact Form 7. As you can see, it's one of the first results that show up. So you just click on the button here, which would say Install Now, and then you could also activate it from here as well. So I'll just go back to my installed plugins because I've already done that. And we'll just quickly duck in and have a look at the settings on Contact Form 7. And as you can see, when it installs, it automatically generates your first contact form. And we're just going to use this form for our project. You can edit them, change them in various ways, but for our purposes, we'll just stick with the simple one. And if you do want to edit and change them, there's plenty of information out there. Just do some Google searching or check out the developer's site or pages, and you'll get more information that way. So as you can see, it's got a bit of a syntax for creating the form. It's not your usual form sort of set out. Probably the only things you're going to want to play with in this area would be the structure of the emails it sends to you. You may want to change the messaging it uses for validation on the form. And that's probably about it, really. It will send the emails to whatever address you've provided here. So you may want to change that depending on where you want the email to go to. Okay. Like I said, hitting up the developer's site or these FAQs It'd probably be a good starting point if you want to tweak anything too much there. The main one for us at the moment will be to make sure it's pointing to an email that we want to use. Rightio, so once that's set up, we're going to jump back over to our pages. And in an earlier video, we did create this contact page. So we're going to stick our form on this page. So we'll edit with Elementor and we'll create a new section. I think in this case, I'll just use a single column layout. And we'll probably first add a few basic little bits of, or a few basic widgets. So obviously we might put in a heading, have that say contact us. And we might also add a little bit of text after that. We might do a quick update just to make sure it's all saved. And now we're going to look in our widget section. We're going to go down to our, I believe it's in our essential add-ons section on the side menu. And you'll come across some various different bits and pieces. The one we're after is called Contact Form 7. There are some other form ones there. Depending on what sort of form you do, they might be better suited to your purposes. There's Form Stack, there's Fluent Form, there's a lot of them in there. Ninja Forms. Most of them work similar to how we work with this particular one. So if you were doing any more complicated forms, you'd probably want to explore one of those options. But for us, the Contact Form 7 will do the job nicely. So we'll just drag that widget in, pop it underneath our bit of text there. And now we're going to have some menu options over here for styling that. First thing we have to do is select the form we want to use. Now we should only have the one form there unless you've created another one. So we'll select it and then you can see it's now appeared in the section on the page. Now we've got a few various slider options there. Form title, well, we've already made our own. Form description, we've already done a bit of a one, so we don't really need those. Whether we want the labels to show or not, well, we need them so people know what to fill in. The options for whether we show error messages or validation error messages, again, I'd probably leave them on. Then we can get into the styling of our form. And here you've got most of your pretty standard sort of styling options. I think in the case of this one, I will probably center the form. And I'd probably give it a maximum width so we can just trim it down a bit to make it a bit thinner. So we might set that around the 600 pixel mark. Rightio. We can also adjust our form margins and paddings. We can put a border radius on it, border background color on the border, all those sort of things. I think we'll leave it white in this case. You can also adjust things like the title and description, just how we have the text set up on them. But because we're not using titles or descriptions, They're not really going to have any effect in this particular instance. Input and text areas, obviously they're both what we're using there. You can adjust a few bits and pieces with them as you normally would. We'll just leave that all standard for now. Labels, change the text color and spacing on them. Even the typography if we want. Again, I'd probably leave them all matching with the theme just for continuity. Probably the only other adjustment I'd make is the submit button. I'd probably just center it just to make it look a bit better. But again, you've got all the controls that you can change in there. One other you'd probably want to look at is the after submit feedback. That's just a little message that pops up after they've sent the message, sent their contact form to you. Okay. So once we've put all that together and we're happy with it, we just click on update. Now if we go and have a look at the form, so we'll just exit back to our dashboard, back into our WordPress dashboard. If we go visit the site. Now if we click on the Contact Us page, we have a contact form here. Now, as it states, you can put in our details, and obviously if they don't fill in the required forms, it'll give them a message telling them that we need a bit more information. So if we try again, thank you, your message has been sent. Now, in the case of the Laragon development environment, we've got something that's an email catcher. So if I just pop into the menu on there, so then if we go in to PHP, and you'll see under that we've got mail catcher. And if we just click on view latest email, it'll actually display what it would have sent to the email address. Okay. And that's it for setting up a basic form.